Hello and welcome to FTB Sports. I am Sam Spurs for Life, and this is the Tottenham Hotspur reaction show for the game Fulham versus Spurs. Fulham 0, Spurs 1. And the Spurs go marching on. The Arsenal fans don't like that, but I don't care. I don't care tonight. It's all about the Spurs. And although the second half performance wasn't the best in the world there, we put under a lot of pressure by Fulham. It is a game that was a must win, and 3 points is all that mattered today. So, gentlemen, we have Darius and we have Mike in the house. Oh, just change this round slightly. What's going on? That's not quite right. That feels better. The Don's got to be at the top. We got to have the Don at the top. You know what I mean? We can't mess about the Don. You know what I mean? If the Don's on the bottom, that's not right. But he's at the top and he's here. Mike and Darius, welcome, gentlemen. How are we doing? Do we feel all right?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm happy. Like you said, I don't think there's much or anything to be mad about from the past week or so. So
we take the result, and I think if you back the result, you back the performance that we had against Burnley with a result, that's all that can matter. It was always going to be a tough game. You know, I predicted a 2-0 scoreline. I got the clean sheet, and Mike predicted 3-1. Yeah, so a bit far off. Darius predicted 3-1, so a bit far off. So I think I won this one this week. That goes to me.
We want to keep scores. We can do this. We can do this. We can keep scores. I'm down to keep scores.
I'm just saying because I was the closest. That's all it was.
Okay.
Didn't we say 3-0? I said 3-0.
Yeah, I said 3-1. I said 3-1.
I'm excited about this today.
Either way.
There we go. Right, gentlemen. Whew. After all that bravado at the start, it is 3 points in the bag. Obviously, Everton winning as well keeps that little bit of distance, but Everton are now into 4th place. We are 4 points behind Everton, having played the same games. So I am saying everything is still on for this top 4 run. But in terms of the game today, how do you think the game went? Mike, do you want to start us off?
I would say it was a game of 2 halves. First half, I thought we were on top. I thought we probably bossed it more so first half. Second half, it was probably all Fulham, to be fair to them. And I think that was probably only natural. That was probably going to happen because Fulham are obviously scrapping for their lives. They got nothing to lose. They need probably the 3 points, possibly more than maybe what we do. And I thought they played well, to be fair. I don't think just because it was a 1-0 scoreline against a team that's in the bottom 3, I thought they played quite well. They certainly didn't give us any time on the ball. They didn't show us that much respect, perhaps like what Burnley did. And I mean, on another day, the ref, I know Sanchez kicked the ball against, I can't remember who it was, but it kicked against their hand.
It was Lamina, wasn't it?
Was it Lamina?
Yeah.
You could argue it may have been harsh. It was definitely the correct call.
Letter of the law. Letter of the law.
Yeah, I was going to say, just the law says if it hits your hand.
Yeah, can't argue with it. So I think overall, we defended very well. I thought Sanchez had to be fair, he probably had another good game. He makes a habit of this. If he makes a habit of this,
me and Darius talking. There was a moment where somebody pressed a button and he did a body popping like this, and he was all over the place.
Malfunctioning. That was hilarious.
Apart from that transformer moment that he had when he was Optimus Prime, whatever it was, he was. Yeah, you're right. He played well. Sorry, that was all I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say I thought in general the back line held firm. Another day, maybe a month or so ago, we might have crumbled and it might have been a draw. But another clean sheet, another win, 4 points off top 4. All of a sudden,
I know
things could be a little bit different now. So I'm happy.
It's a bit brighter. Yeah, and I think if we'd have gone in 2-0 at half time, I wouldn't have been surprised because, as I said, I thought we played well enough in that first half to get a couple of goals. But I don't think we were clinical enough with our front line. I don't think the front line played exceptionally well today. And I think Harry Kane in the last few games, although he scored a goal in the last one, hasn't been the Harry Kane that is like the one that we want to see, like always getting opportunities, hitting the target. But he's allowed to have a dip, surely. You know, with his
Fatigue.
stats.
I'm putting that down to a bit of fatigue here.
Okay.
Well, somebody said I think we could potentially play if we get to the final of the Europa League 63 games this season. So
exactly. So
that's
fatigue's going to play a part.
Perspective.
Just before I come to you, Darius, we've got another special guest to join us, and we have got in the corner, in the left side,
it's the football manager
Bashman.
himself.
He's the football manager. Marlon Bashman, the football manager. Yo, he's in the house with us. Well done, Marlon, for turning up without your football manager hat on today. We like that. We were just getting into the game, Marlon. We're going to come to Darius next about his thoughts on the game. But as you're well aware, we just needed to get the 3 points today. So Darius, take it away how you felt the game went.
I don't know about you guys, but it was strange to me. Like, obviously we played well, and I think that we have to look at the defensive side of the performance more so, because like we said, the first half we played really well, all aspects of the game. I definitely want to point out the block was pushed up about 10-15 yards up the pitch, and we seemed to be able to use that to kind of get the ball back quicker, win it in transition, and attack much quicker than that. And it kind of, I don't really call that counter-attack football to me, because it's just basically what we're doing, but 10-15 yards up the pitch a little bit more. It was nothing different. It was just our transitions are very sharp. It's just quick. It's very quick. So that was a good positive to take from the first half. The second half, again, we kind of went into our show like we were doing in the past, and kind of allowing teams to pressure us. But I also do think that was, like you said, Mike, down to the performance of Fulham. I genuinely believe that Fulham are actually pretty decent, and to say that they're in the relegation zone, and I know that they obviously haven't had a great season, but they've drew 11 games this season and lost, I think, 12 or 13. So it's not like they've been losing games on games. I think Newcastle have lost more games than them this season. So Fulham deserve more than Newcastle at the moment to stay up. So I think they had a great, they put up a good performance, and they made themselves accountable. But
if you think about it, Fulham had all their, in terms of their bad results at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, they were saying they're definitely down. They're gone, finished. They were bottom of the league. They were almost cut adrift. I remember in an interview, Jamie Carragher was saying, that's it, they're done. No chance for them. They've got a chance to stay up still, because they have changed the way they're playing. They're a decent footballing team. And it is, like, it's a bit of a cliche when you say, oh, they're too good to go down. They're too good to be in the bottom three. They're not, because obviously the start of the season wasn't good. But they are a good footballing team. And, you know, with slightly better players or slightly less mistakes in terms of that playing out from the back, it could have been a bit hairy for us. I
tell you who they remind me of. And I've begun to realize now where goal scorer in a team is so essential, especially for the teams at the low half. Brighton are very similar to Fulham in the sense that Brighton have a better squad than Fulham, but Brighton and Fulham play good football. They have a style of play. They have an identity that they want to play, but they just lack a goal scorer that can get them 10-15 goals a season. And if they had a goal scorer that could get them 10-15 goals a season, you wouldn't even be looking at them being near the bottom half, or not the bottom half, but near the bottom three, should I say. So with those teams like that, they lack the last end, the final touch, that person to kind of put away those chances. And when you get a striker like that, it can change your team completely. I mean, look at Aston Villa. They brought in Ollie Watkins, and they've jumped up about 10-15 spots. So it's very, I've realized now, it's very important that these teams, especially in the lower half, get a goal scorer in their ranks, and it can really change their outlook on their team. But yeah, just quickly on the game again, I just think that the defensive side of our game, and particularly what you said, where we held out at the end. Normally those last 10 minutes, it was cagey, but normally I'm kind of like, we're going to concede here. This time we were a lot more solid. We were a lot more convincing. And those players who kind of maybe, how we said, crack under pressure a little bit, like Sanchez, like your Doherty's, I know that they didn't really necessarily have, I don't know, Doherty didn't really have the best game. Sanchez had a good game, but they all were resilient, and they persevered for the whole game, and they kept a clean sheet. So again, positives only. They all played well. They all played
before I come to Marlon football manager Bashman, I'm just going to have this comment out. Welcome, Hamza. Another good performance from Sanchez, boys. Well, I'm not going to argue with that today. I can't argue with that. I'm going to go over to Mr. Bashman, because he's an avid fan of Sanchez. What did you think of the game today, and what did you think of your man in particular, Mr. Davinson, number 6, Sanchez?
Well, just want to say evening all first. I think we played well. First half, definitely. First half was very good. I was impressed. And I like the fact that he went for it. Second half, again, it's kind of standard. We kind of sit back. It was very dangerous. When they scored that goal,
the disallowed one.
Automatic.
Oh God, that was.
I didn't even see the handball at first.
I was screaming handball. I didn't even see the handball, but I was still screaming.
It's one of those. It's one of those.
One of them.
I think having Sanchez and Alderweireld together is working, and I think it's Alderweireld's experience and his knowledge. There was only one moment where Sanchez had a bit of a madness with Lloris, when I think Lloris wanted to get the ball and Sanchez just cleared it. But if he had left it and it went all pear-shaped, then we would have been on his back. So
again, I look at that as a positive from Sanchez, because as you've seen before, Dyer's done that probably 2 or 3 times this season. Kind of fault is Lloris getting Lloris's fault. Deal with the situation, get it out of touch, and then talk about it afterwards. Don't think, oh, he's done it, I'm going to do it, and they score. Get rid of it. Then you can sort it all out. So no, from that perspective, I thought that's a good thing to see Sanchez taking command, taking control, and just getting into row Z, row 230. I don't care where it went, just get it off.
I still think Sanchez will always do that drifting as well, though. Like you said, he doesn't seem to be able to get that drifting out of his head. But again, with Alderweireld, it kind of helps. I'm guessing Alderweireld's talking to him throughout the whole
game. To be honest, I think everyone played well, and I have to give Mourinho credit. I like Lamella's little run where he just went past several players as well.
Soul roll, the signature soul roll.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to pick out the pass, but it didn't happen. But overall, it was a good performance. I'm just happy with the win. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm over the moon with the win, because this is the type of thing where we kind of get these false dawns. Spurs play really good against Burnley. Then people start saying, oh, it's only Burnley. We should be beating them. Burnley are a good team. Then it comes to Fulham. Fulham are a good footballing team, but people are going to say, oh, it's Fulham. They're in the bottom 3. You should be beating them. Well, you can see from the way they played, they know what they're doing. Scott Parker's got them playing in a really good style. As I said, that first half, what they did is they played into our hands, because we were pressing high and they were trying to still play from the back as opposed to playing long and direct. And we kept on trapping them and winning back possession in the transition. That's where the goal came from. You know, we won the ball, transition happened, and we scored from it. And these are the things where, you know, people might look at it and think, well, we should be doing that against the likes of Fulham. This is the way we should be playing. You're right in what you said, Marlon. It kind of then reverted back to a typical Jose second half. But what I will give Jose credit for the second half is I think the substitutions he made were right. Were right. Because he didn't take Ndombele off first. So he didn't take Ndombele off first to replace him with Sissoko. He took off Bale and he took off Dele and put Sissoko next to Højbjerg, but kept Ndombele on. And then as Ndombele started to get more and more tired, he thought, right, we need more legs, put Lamela on. And that worked. That kept that energy going. I think if we didn't do that, might have been a little bit more pressure.
Because they were putting pressure on us.
They really were.
He's credit. From we play good and we're not just sitting back and playing boring football, I'm happy.
Well, it's not even that, Marlon. Like you said, we were sitting back, but it was kind of like you could kind of understand why we were sitting back, because Fulham were actually playing not even pretty well. They were playing really well. They were attacking us. So you can understand that. And then what you want to do and what you want to see from your manager, and the manager that we have at the moment is kind of praised for this, is working and making that change when you need to make the change. And he did. He saw the issue and he said, I need a little bit more energy in this team. And he kept on Ndombele for the creativity, and then brought him off for the energy, and that was Lamela. And so I can't, like you said, Marlon, can't fault the guy if he's not done anything wrong.
And when they came on, I thought they did all right as well. To be fair to them, even Sissoko, done what they needed to do.
And this is what I'm saying. We're praising Sissoko, we're praising Sanchez, and so it must be this. There is a little bit of improvement in the team, and that goes for the players, it goes for the manager as well. I think they've improved overall generally. They've probably all sat down together and thought, how can we be better? It's not all about low blocks, it's not all about sitting back and trying to soak it up. So I like the fact that we did all we did in the first half. Second half, but again, I don't think that would be the sort of game we'll have against Crystal Palace, because I think Crystal Palace, unless they're really under a lot of goals against us, they're going to play a low block all the time. They can't play out like that. Exactly. Just going to do a couple of comments here from Hamza. This is for you, Marlon. Me and Marlon are both putting our necks out for Sanchez here. True, that's very true. But I'm almost joining that Sanchez part. I'm not going to quite say I'm his biggest fan, but what I will say is I will take back what I said. He doesn't need to be out the club, but he just needs to have. He's a backup. He's a good backup, and I think if he has somebody next to him like Alderweireld, makes him a better player. And if we can get those type of performances out of him, at least we can be comfortable in we've got enough in our attack that we can always score goals. And I think if they click, Son, Kane, Bale,
and even Ali, that front
and even
four
Ali
today,
I
was well impressed.
It does work. It definitely does work.
I definitely agree.
So
that was a penalty as well, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Wait, which one? Which one are we talking about?
The
Kane one. Oh yeah. I don't know. No. It was
a 100%.
I can't lie.
It was because he did touch him, but it's almost difficult to say because it wasn't that much of a touch. It should have been a penalty, and I'm not sure why it wasn't given. And if we would have been disappointed had Fulham got that penalty, that's what I think. So that's the difference. You know what I mean? It probably was, but you would be disappointed if it was given against you as a team. So they go for you. Some of them go for you, and some of them don't. Let's just have a look at the stats from the game. It makes interesting reading. Let's go. So 59% possession to Fulham, 11 shots to 9, 3 shots on target to 2, 4 corners to 1, 13 fouls to 9. Does that tell us anything about the performance of both teams?
That's surprising me. I thought first of all Fulham had more shots, and I thought second of all we had less. So that surprised me quite a lot actually.
It's not. It's a typical 1-0, isn't it? It's almost like 50-50 on everything, almost.
Almost.
So
the
possession, you expect the possession definitely. They dominated, but that's surprising for me.
The thing is, though, Fulham's got good players. Well, going forward, well,
Lookman's good. I like Lookman. Loftus-Cheek was really good as well. Yeah. Trying to think of some others.
That's hard.
Who was the number 21? The gingerhead guy.
Harrison Reed.
He was the one in the first half. We dealt with him because what Dele Alli was doing, they wanted to play through him, but he kept getting very close to him, and they didn't play through him. Then they had to play to their fullbacks. Their fullbacks are not quite as good on the ball in terms of being able to make the passes, and they kept trying to pass it to the back line, couldn't get it into midfield. Then when they did put it into midfield, that's when we got that trap set, and we were on them. That worked really well. I think second half, what Fulham were able to do was they were able to get that number 21 Harrison more on the ball. And that's where they got the control from. When you watch the game back, and I'll try and see if I can watch it back tomorrow, that's where we need probably a little bit more detail. If whoever's going to be seeing how they play, if they are going to keep playing out from the back, you have to get that person. That number 10 is a person that has to get around their number 4 in essence.
Yeah.
But another player who I actually really, really, really like the look of is Joachim Andersen, their centre back. I think that he's actually he's on loan from Lyon at Fulham, but I really think that he could be a Premier League centre back. Anderson, the number 4. His distribution is it reminds me of and the commentator mentioned it. It reminds me of Alderweireld so much. He's solid. He's 6'4". He's got good distribution. He's a very good defender on the ball. He seems to be able to play the ball and keep possession quite well. So you're right in what you're saying, Marlon. I think throughout the team there's kind of like a spine in each position on the pitch. Is like one quite not exceptional, but a really good player for them. And I think that's probably why they're able to kind of keep afloat and kind of get this from what we thought was a horrible start to the season and basically the end of their season. They seem to bring it back through the quality of their players. So Scott Parker deserves credit, but you're right in what you're saying. They've got decent players. I can't lie to you. I think if they were to get relegated, you could see a couple of them probably getting moves to the Premier League, and whereas with the West Broms and stuff, you don't, and Sheffield United, you don't really see any of those players really getting.
He's only young. He's 24. That guy.
24. I'm telling you, he plays for Lyon, and don't know why Lyon sent him on loan. I have no idea why, but he's already captain at Fulham. I mean, if you're a loan player and you're a captain, you're doing something in that dressing room. So I think that just watch out for him. You might be able to even snag him for a decent price if we're looking for a centre back. Right. I thought he played really well. I really thought he stood out, and he stood out for the whole season since he's come into the squad, and he's been a regular. He's been the reason I think that Fulham have kept such a solid defense, and it's enabled them to give them draws. And like I said, if they had a striker, they'd probably be a lot higher up the table.
A lot higher.
That's just one of those.
Hamza again's made another comment here. If that happened to United, they would have given it, and he's talking about the penalty. 100% they would have given it if it was them.
100%.
Hamza's got a question for us. My question for you guys is, who plays on Sunday in the defence, because Toby can't play 3 games in a week?
Has he played 3 games already?
Will it be 3
No, it
games?
will
if
be,
he
won't
plays
it?
including the Wolfsburger.
Oh yeah, Wolfsburger as well. He did play Wolfsburger.
So again, that will be 3 games.
It will probably be Dyer then, and maybe Rodon might get a bench and Toby might get rest.
Because to the Europa game, that's going to be a hard game. That
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. Who? What do you think, guys? I don't know now. I'm thinking about it. Who's going to play on Sunday against Crystal Palace?
Again, I think with Crystal Palace, and I'm not being funny, they're not as good on the ball as Fulham are.
No,
they're going to be a low block team. So defensively,
Yeah.
we're going to need pace on the counter attack, particularly if someone like Zaha's playing. I've watched Crystal Palace. They've got quick players in transition, but what they don't have is they don't have as much ability to keep the ball as what Fulham do.
Yeah.
So the block's going to be low, and provided that we can keep decent possession and keep knocking on that door and get the goals, I don't think Crystal Palace will pose as much problems as what Fulham did today, in my opinion.
Where are we playing? Is it at home or away?
At home.
Yeah, see, Palace don't travel well either, do they? But I think for Palace, it all depends on who's playing for them. If Zaha and what's his name up front? Is it pronounced E? Is he pronounced easy?
But they play Benteke, don't they, with Zaha?
Yeah, they've been playing Benteke though.
Yeah. See, they're good players, and they will cause us problems. But
they will. But they have to have the ball to cause us problems. I don't think they will have the ball much. So provided we can do things with the ball and get that goal. If we score first, I think the Crystal Palace game will take care of itself. I really do, because there'll be so much gaps that, you know, we'll score against them. They don't really score that many goals, but what they do well is they seem to be able to hang in there, and then they'll take that one opportunity that may come their way.
They're built for counters, aren't they? Look at this. Look at their team. They've got Townsend and Eze and Zaha. They're built for counters.
Massively built for counters.
Even against Brighton, they struggled, and they'll get battered, and they just go and score these.
They just go and score with the only shot they had. That's what it was. That's the team they are. And Roy Hodgson knows that he's not a better footballing team than us. So he's not going to, I don't think he's going to decide, all right, I'm going to go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and try and beat this lot of football. That's not going to happen. So we can kind of see where that game's going, I think. So therefore, do we need to have certain players playing? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the team up from today, because I want to ask you guys about how you thought certain players actually did today. So this is the starting 11 from today, if you can see that. Obviously, Doherty, Sanchez, Dyer, Davis at the back, Ndombele, Højbjerg, Dele. I think that's a strong midfield in terms of the midfield. The two that I would obviously change is the two fullbacks. You bring Aurier and you bring Reguilon into that, and that's a massive difference in your attacking threat. But how do you guys think that Bale and Dele did today? Who wants to go on that one?
I don't mind going first. I thought Dele played well. I thought he played very well, in fact, in that number 10 role. Bale, I don't think was able to influence the game perhaps as much as he would have liked, or maybe to the point of what we would have expected. But then that's just because I think Fulham probably saw him as a threat, and naturally so. But I just think, and again, Craven Cottage, as I said to you offline, Craven Cottage is a small pitch, so it's quite compact, and I just think it was Fulham just made it difficult for Bale to get to make a stamp or get his stamp on the game and sort of exert his influence. And I thought, I personally, I think Fulham probably done quite well in that sense. They kept him quiet. They did what they needed to do. It's just pleasing to see that we've got strength and depth to take off Bale if we need to, and bring someone else on that might just offer us something different. I don't think Bale played badly. I just think it was one of those games where he just wasn't able to have that influence that we might have liked to have seen.
They cut off a lot of the supplies to him. They made sure they got players around him. But we have to think Bale's played 3 games well in a row. So he had the Wolfsburger, going back to the City one, actually, City, Wolfsburger, Burnley. So them 3 games in a row, I think he's really kind of shown us that he's going to have a bit of a day where he's not going to get as much space. He's not going to get as much time. And we're expecting him still to be able to do miracles. But I still think he had a decent game. What I liked about Bale today was I saw him in our own box, clearing things up, heading balls. We weren't seeing that in the early part of the season. Bale actually tracking back, getting back, helping the defense out. That's one positive sign from a defensive point of view, which obviously Jose is going to love. He loves that sort of thing. So if he sees him continue to do that and have the ability up front that we know he's got, it's a no-brainer that he should be starting. It's just whether or not we can start him consecutive games. We're now going to have to make a decision. Does he play against Crystal Palace or do we hold him back for Zagreb? But then do we play him against Zagreb, knowing that we've got Arsenal on the weekend, next weekend? It's a real challenge now with Jose to
it's
manage.
A tricky one because if we go on a run, we can make top 4. I was just looking at the league.
I was going to say, I'm not going to lie to you. I think the Arsenal game is more important than the Zagreb game.
We have to rotate, and I think Lucas could definitely make a difference, and even play Ali again because he's only played one game. But I thought Bell played well, to be honest. I like that front four.
That front four, I like the front four.
It works. At least we know it works.
I like Ali's performance because what he showed me is, again, he showed quality to stop that player, as I said in the first half, Harrison getting on the ball, which was the work ethic that obviously people kind of, diss him for at times. But I thought today he proved that he can do it, and he was getting in the box, and he was, do we class it as an own goal or his goal? I would say give it to Delhi if I was honest.
I would, yeah.
Well, it wasn't. I think it is classed as an own goal, isn't it?
It is as an own goal.
It's an own goal. It's been classed as an own goal. Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it's been classed as an own goal.
But still, it was an influence from at least 3 of the front 4. So Bale played that ball into Son. I think then Son that got the cross in? And obviously then Delhi and Kane were in the box anyway. So one of the 2 were going to knock it in. Kane, if he'd have got to it, would have been offside. So Dele Alli making a touch proved vital because that goal wouldn't have stood if it was Kane. Solo's here. Good win today. Thank you, Solo. How did your game go yesterday? Ooh, not so good. That's not it. Man United. I'm you got to troll them because they were coming on here. They wanted to come on here tonight and give us grief because I gave them grief yesterday, but they can't. So they've got to say, well done, lads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hamza, I thought Zaha was injured. Has he returned? He didn't play the other day, so I'm assuming he's injured, but he could make a miraculous recovery for the game against us, which is probably what will happen.
I heard he is going to come back for that game.
Yeah, that's standard.
Yeah,
He's their best player.
Well.
He's their best 100%. Player. Should we extend Bale's loan or go out and get a proper right winger?
Let's not talk about extending loans. I don't want to hear that talk.
I would extend it.
I would extend
it.
Yeah,
you are crazy. Never.
He's a winner. You need winners around our players.
Nah, man.
I'm going with extending it as well. I'm going to go.
What? And if you have to pay 100%. More of his wage, you're doing it.
No, I think well, from the noise that has been made, is Madrid are happy to continue with the same setup that's currently in place. Yeah. So if Bale can play 20 games and he gets you, if he gets you 50% of those wins, I don't know. I think it's probably worth it myself.
I'm not sure.
Right. So this is how they've explained. I've read a couple of reports about it. So if Tottenham were to buy him now, obviously it cost them money. And the likelihood is, Bale's going to think, well, I'm going to need a decent amount of wages.
No, Real Madrid aren't asking for a price for Bale. They already said they'll sell him for free.
Okay. But that would still mean Bale would still think to himself, you know what? I'm going to want decent money. If they wait and they keep him on loan, he'll still get his full wages. We don't have to pay all of it, but then he'll come to the end of his contract. Then we can make a decision. Do we keep Bale on a free? Potentially, but he could still be sold to someone like China, if you think about it, or even America, where we could not palm him off to, because that's the wrong phrase, but there's still some resale value in him if we got him for free. So that would almost pay for some of his wages, because you can imagine him going to somewhere like LA Galaxy. They'd pay 20 million for Bell, wouldn't they? Surely.
I'll ask you the question, then. Are you going to pay his full wages then if he was to join us?
No. What I'm saying is, if he doesn't join us now, but we still keep him on loan, and then he goes into a free contract, we can renegotiate his contract. We can say, well, look, Bale, we can play you as you go, or we could pay you a percentage of your image rights, or blah blah blah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Still have to pay him 200 grand a week, but he could sub that with some other form of finance. Do you know what I mean?
And then, for this season or the season? Sorry, for next season or the season after.
The season after. But then if you get him on a free, there is still resale value to somebody like America. Do you know what I mean? Where they will pay that sort of money for a 30, you'll be 33 then. You know what
Yeah,
I
it'll
mean?
be 33,
They
yeah.
will definitely pay the money because he will bring so much to them.
Sorry,
again?
is his contract only got 2 more years left at Real Madrid then? Or has he got
One
one
more
more?
year at the end of the season.
Got one more.
Yeah.
One more year at the end of the season. So I think if they, as a business person, Daniel Levy will look at it and say, right, is Bell contributing enough to make us a better team when he's fully firing? Yes. Can he do that next season, given his age? I think he can. So it makes sense to me to do it, even if he doesn't, because you're not paying all his wages and you then get him on the free to sign him. I think you can still make some money back on him as a business, as a business way of looking at it. But hey ho, that's way off in the future. The fact that we got him now and he is doing something for us, I think it's really good.
I've got a question.
Go on then.
What lineup would you go with on Sunday?
See, the formation should be kept the same. 100%. This formation's working. Stick with
What
the
was it
formation.
today? Sorry,
4-2-3-1.
I didn't quite catch.
4-2-3-1.
I'll put it back up. This is the starting lineup, and it was in.
Except for Dyer didn't start, did he?
Oh my gosh, what's that?
Oh, you didn't see that?
Wrong. My mistake on there. That's pants. That's wrong. It was Alderweireld. Sorry, my bad. That's terrible, isn't it?
You want
Disliking, unsubscribing, not.
Oh my gosh, all you viewers out there, sorry for that mistake. That is terrible. Anyway, so take out Dyer. It was Alderweireld in there. I'd probably
go with.
I think Dyer's coming back in.
Yeah, I was going to say
Rodon's not playing.
Yeah, no, I can't see Rodon playing. I reckon that probably will be the lineup, or very close to it. You might see Bale might get rested. Depends on what.
Bale.
I think you're right.
It depends.
I think because Zagreb's Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah,
Following, and then it's Arsenal the Sunday,
say.
Isn't it?
That's the point for me now. It's the Zagreb and Arsenal. Of them two games, which is more important at this moment in time?
Arsenal. Don't
That's
even,
what I think.
It's not a debate. It's not, in my opinion, we could beat Zagreb by 4 goals if we really had to the following Thursday. Arsenal is too big of a game. It's too big of a game.
I don't want
to. We're 4 points
them.
off as well, guys. Come on, and they could go ahead of us if they would.
I'm
sorry. This game's too big. It's too big.
There's 2 games against Zagreb. We can, even if we don't win the first one, and we're at home, remember, so we shouldn't be losing. Arsenal, the Don's sitting back. The Don's not happy. What's happened, Don? Don, come on, tell me. What are you thinking?
We've got to be. Mourinho's got to play a tactical. He's got to play a tactical game here. Like for the Zagreb game, maybe just a 1 or 2-0 win would suffice. If he can play, if he could get away with it with like a semi-decent side.
Is it 5 subs Europa? It's 5 subs Europa, isn't it?
5, yeah.
Is it 5? Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Are they a good team? Is the question.
The top of the league is Croatian.
Yeah, they
have got Champions League experience. They're all right. They're all right.
They're all right. They're nobody's mugs. Let's put it that way.
No, exactly.
Yeah. To be fair, the Arsenal game, although it is a big game, I just see them as like, oh, yeah, okay, it's Arsenal.
Because I know if they win, it's going to give them confidence to push on, and they're in this basically in the same situation as us. And like, it's momentum, isn't it? If you win a North London derby and kind of put that team under the mud, and you can progress. It's for me. It's I know what you mean, Mike. Like in the grand scheme of things, if we were guaranteed top 4 and there wasn't much to go on, then I'd be like, Arsenal, I don't really care about them like that. But for me, it's Arsenal. It's the fact that they would take the piss out of us if they win. And it's also the fact that they would, any team who wins in a derby would get momentum to go on and carry on.
But it all depends.
It's Arsenal, lads. Come on.
Let's
just think about this.
But look at the bigger picture. If we get another 3 points on Sunday and Arsenal lose, that puts them like 7 points behind us.
5 or 7, yeah, I can't remember which one.
8, I know it'd be 8 because we're 5 in front of them at the moment.
Yeah, or 11 on
so
game.
That puts us 8 points if we win and they lose, or even if they draw on Sunday. Like you're looking at 7 or 8 points difference there. We could, I don't want to, but we could accept a draw, for example. We don't have to beat Arsenal in order to. I don't know. I just think the Zagreb game. I just think it might be a bigger game.
Look, mate, you can say that, but those group chats will not give a shit about you when they win.
at the end of the day, if they did win, it's 1-1, isn't it? It's like, well, they're not going to jump up anywhere in the league, are they? They'll still be flipping mid-table. It's like
I want us to be part of tucking them in. I want us to be part of that,
burial service,
putting them to bed, done their season, finished it. Because I don't want them to have any sort. I don't want it to be close come near the end of the season. I want them to. I want it like it was when they were in the real mud, and it's just points, and we're thinking, this is that they've done 15 points. I don't want them close. So I just think the game is. I think this.
Would you rather? Actually, hold on a minute. Would you rather lose to Zagreb on Thursday and beat Arsenal, or beat Zagreb on Thursday but accept a defeat against Arsenal, or draw?
I don't want to defeat to Arsenal. Their fans get on my nerves as it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And also, I understand, Mike, we could get them in the Europa, and it would probably be even more sweeter to beat them in the Europa. But for me, it's the momentum thing. It's I know for a fact that whichever team wins that game on Sunday has a Thursday round of 16 game in the Europa to play after that, and it's kind of like you want to continue with that momentum, even if it wasn't Arsenal, regardless, you still want to win that game for momentum for that next game against Zagreb. So
yeah,
I just think the fact that it's Arsenal could do two things. It can give us a confidence boost, and like Sam said, it can throw them into the mud. And I just want to be part of any Arsenal demise. I want to be a part of it, because I can't have those fans talk to the way they talk to us still, and they are terrible. They're awful. They're crap. They're actually crap.
Let's put it another way.
And it's annoying.
Let's put it this way. If we invite some of them Arsenal people on our show to do a preview and then a reaction, and they have won, what do you think that will be like?
Yeah. I'd want to leave.
That's all I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
I'm not having them coming on here and chatting. You see that? You did it. I don't want none of that bollocks.
We won't allow them to come into our manor and talk to us like this. This is our manor.
We have the power.
This is our manor. These Arsenal fans come and go as we please, not as they want to.
But in all seriousness, though, we've got 2 games against Zagreb, and even if we played a defensive team and they don't score, the away goal is very important. If they were to score against us on Thursday, that sheds a whole little different light on it, because the away goal is going to be important. We keep a 0-0. It just means the second game we just got to score and make sure we don't lose, and then we're through. But the Arsenal game means that it's bragging rights. I know. In the grand scheme of things, it's not really a major bragging rights, but it almost for me solidifies our position to be the best team in North London. They keep saying, "Oh, we ain't won nothing. We ain't." Well, let's see what happens if we win something this season, are above them this season. Then let's see what they say next season. What can they say?
This game reminds me of the game where we played them at Wembley and we drew, but Aubameyang missed that last minute.
Missed the penalty. Yo, that was
this game coming up reminds me of that. And if they had won that game, they would have finished above us. It's like the momentum would have swung to them. But it's
literally a rival, isn't it, Marlon? It's like, I know that if they won the game, I know that Arsenal would probably go on quite a decent run.
Would give them so much fuel that they could then go on a massive run and then potentially be above us. That's the problem. You know what, Arsenal, they go in fits and starts. And this is a question now, and Hamza's getting it. Hamza's really pushing us tonight. Would you rather get knocked out of the Europa or lose to them? Well,
I'd rather lose to them. I'd rather lose to them.
If that's the case, that for me is that goes without saying.
That's a given.
But
they're not that important.
It's still not a nice feeling to have them.
We could play them twice. The thing is, what's crazy is next Thursday, we could potentially be playing them twice more. Like, we could get them in the draw in the Europa. So
they've got to beat Olympiacos first, though.
They do have to beat Olympiacos, but we have to beat Zagreb. And I think that Olympiacos and Zagreb are basically the equal opponents, because they're both top of their leagues and their leagues aren't that great. So Arsenal and Tottenham are pretty much in the same situation in the league. They've got nothing to play for now we do, but the main aim for both these teams is a trophy, but you need momentum. It's so obvious what momentum does. Look at City. I mean, they you go on a win streak, and it's like, and I know it's City, and I know you can look at that and think, yeah, okay, but when you've got players like that, you should be doing that. But at the end of the day,
their run is
21 games they've won, and now I could imagine City winning every possible trophy this season. I genuinely could imagine City winning Premier, FA, apart from Carabao. Sorry. Apart from Carabao.
You think they'll win Champions League?
Yeah, they're my favorites now. They're my favorites now.
Man City.
Yeah, they're my favorites.
Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich over them. Bayern Munich, if you watch Bayern Munich, they don't actually look as good as they do. They're quite defensively frail at the moment, I would say.
But Munich know how to, they can play bad and they know how to get the results, get the wins.
Very true.
Man City, they're not getting in the fight. They're not winning.
I'm sorry,
nothing.
I think Diaz is that important. I genuinely think that they could do it now. They comfortably, if Pep just doesn't, and I know we shouldn't be talking about City on a Tottenham reaction show, but they can. I just want to see. Forget City now. Like I said, let's get back onto Spurs. I want to see Spurs do something great, and I think losing to Arsenal could curtail that. I really do think that, and that's my main reason why. It's not necessarily like you said, Mike, because it's Arsenal and I'm desperate to beat Arsenal. It's not that. It's because I know the situation that could happen if we don't, and also I don't really like the fans bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I got money riding on it as well. I'm honest, I got money riding up with people. I don't want to lose my money. If I'm honest, I don't want to lose my money. So
in that case,
sorry, go on, Mike. Go on.
No,
don't expose me on here, Marlon. Don't expose me, man. What are you doing?
I was going to say, in that case, then we need a win against Palace, a win against Zagreb, and then we need to smash the Gooners.
There you go. I'm with that.
And then we need another win against Zagreb after that. So it's good that we're coming into form now, because it really is. And March is a big month. And at least if we can go and win all those games in March, we've got an international break afterwards. So if we do have to play those players a little bit more, maybe they will have to go into the international break and play more football, but there will be a slight break.
I think this game is very crucial.
Yeah, it's a crucial.
Everyone knows Fulham's league position don't really tell you about that team. They're a good team.
Nah, it doesn't. And that's true. Yeah, and that's very true. When you look at the positions of the teams, obviously we're in 8th and they were in 17th, 18th, whatever it was.
18th.
They're a good team, and there's no taking. It's a London derby. The thing we've got now is 3 London derbies. Today's one, Crystal Palace, and then Arsenal in terms of the league game. So that's a hard one for anybody, even if it's Crystal Palace and it's Fulham. London derbies are always difficult games because it's pride at stake.
Beat them.
And it's not. We haven't beaten. Remember, was it a draw against Crystal Palace in the first game?
1-1, isn't it? As they put the ball in the box and
so so it's like we need to win them games. But again, Arsenal. I know we're looking a bit forward, but I just want them to be tucked up. Good night. See you later. Done. Season over for you. Get knocked out by Olympiacos, and then they can come on this show. Let's see if they come on this show then. Let's see if they come on this show then. Do you know what I mean?
Never.
They won't come on. I want to put it out there. Never. You Arsenal fans in the FTB Sports, come on then. Let's have some of it. Anyway,
there's one more thing that Hamza said that I just want to see what you lot think about this. Do you think we actually are the favourites? Because I've been thinking about it. I think that we kind of are. Who's the favourites then? Man U?
I don't think we're favourites. I think whoever wins out of the Man U game,
it's Man U, AC, Arsenal, Ajax, us. That's like really like the main teams.
I think AC Milan's the name. I don't.
Yeah, AC Milan.
But they are.
Man U,
what it is their Champions League experience. Like what Mike was saying earlier, when you've got that experience, you find a way. Like Bayern Munich, they'll find a way. AC Milan are the same. I think
AC Milan have been in the Champions League for years.
They're in Champions. Exactly. You just beat me to it. That is a name.
Champions League experience is what
only
I
Zlatan.
I don't know.
Not having it, are you?
They're a young squad. If you look at AC's squad, it's been ripped apart.
Right, I'll ask you this question.
New squad.
Who would you rather have played, AC Milan or Zagreb?
Zagreb.
But there you go. So that's what I'm saying about them.
They don't need to have Champions League experience to be a good team. They're still good. Like they were top of the league for most of the season. They're a good squad. They've just got a good squad. Like Ajax is a good example of Champions League experience.
They're nobody's fools, though, are they? Like, is that who would you rather face, Man United or AC Milan? It's like
I would rather face AC Milan than Man United.
I'd say Milan.
I don't want to face Man United.
Oh, yeah, man, having a laugh.
Man U are harder.
Man U are harder team.
We'll see what happens in the game. I personally,
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be
very interesting because I know that Man United fans aren't saying, "No, they're not skipping down the road saying, oh, we've got this." No chance, because they know themselves that this is a tough game. You've got Zlatan, who will it's like having Ronaldo in your team. It just inspires you to play better. True. And it's in the Europa. It's a European game over 2 legs. They will find a way of doing something to at least make Man United work hard. So I don't think that's a nice game to play.
And at some point, Ollie's freestyle is going to
He's gonna get found out.
He's going to come undone at some
He's
point.
gonna get found out.
He can't keep blagging it for as long as he has.
100. I agree. Inter
Milan are not in the Europa League, are they?
Who?
Nah, they got knocked out. They finished bottom. The next went through to Shakhtar out there. I can't believe Inter finished bottom because Inter actually decent as well. They're crazy how they finished bottom of that group. It's wild. But then we lost Leverkusen. We lost so many teams. But Europa League is one of those where we have to kind of cross the bridge when we get to the certain teams because there's a bunch of teams that we could potentially face.
Again, it's 2 legs, and I think we've got the best manager to be able to win this cup because I think Jose in Europe, Jose over 2 legs, the tactical side of things, being able to get a result. I think this is really set up for us because, as I said, we don't have to win on Thursday. We just don't have to lose, and we can if we keep it to a clean sheet. I think we go into the second leg.
Like you said, even a 0-0 probably would be.
It's enough. I personally think it's enough. Right, we're gonna have to wrap up here because I think we want to go and watch this Chelsea game. So I'll go round the table. Now I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go. Which way is it gonna go? That way around. Yeah. Starting off with Mr. Bashman. Your thoughts on the game and obviously how you think we're going to be looking going forward in the next couple of games.
I just think we're in a bit of a winning run. I think there's a positive vibe around the club. I just think it's all going well. And we still got the Celso to come back. I think there's this a nice vibe. And Sanchez is playing well.
Yeah, true. True again.
Just say it. He's next.
I don't know if Sam's connection. I will speak since
going again.
Yeah, let me. To be fair, I don't have much to say. To be honest, it's just like Marlon said. It's probably the best time that we could have come into this winning streak and good form because this month, particularly March, for me, it's probably the most crucial month we've had this season so far. It can really, if we go and win all these games in March, that could put us in a great position. And likewise, if we don't go and win these games in March, we could be way more than 4 points away from top 4. So this month particularly is the month that we'll see how serious we really are. And then obviously April, is it April? We've got the Carabao Cup. So if we can get through this month,
that will take care of it. If we can
get through this month, then this month prior, I think we really do. The aim is 4 wins, in my opinion. Every single game that we've got in this month, I want us to win, and that will put us in a great position going forward into the future.
Agreed.
And it's possible as well. 4 wins in these games is possible as well. 4 wins in these games is possible.
It is possible. So let's go to the Don Hotspur Hustler. Your thoughts on this?
I probably
and going forward.
I agree with everything that's been said so far. I think March is potentially our biggest month in this season. So to date. And like Darius says, if we win those 4 games, that could all of a sudden our season could change quite.
We'll be buzzing, won't we?
Because I mean, if we beat Palace and we beat Arsenal, that's another 6 points. Technically, if the team, I think it's 4th place, we're 5 points behind, aren't we?
We're only 4 off 4.
No, sorry, 4.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if those teams between us and 4th lost, then we're in top 4. I know it's unlikely that's going to happen in the next 2 games, but 6 points, 2 games, it could change. And obviously, if we can beat Zagreb in between them, all of a sudden it could shape up as to how our season could pan out. So I think March could be a big season. If we do get those wins, I think there's going to be a massive buzz around the club, and then we just got to see what happens if in the cup final, and it's 1 game.
Yeah,
you just don't know, do you?
Oh, God. It's the old saying, isn't it? You have to take each game as it comes, play each game on its merit.
Yeah,
and there is going to need to be a bit of strategy in how players play, which players play. But I think we've got the best manager in terms of being able to do that and rotate people in and out to get the best results that we can. Just a quick comment here. Chelsea are beating Liverpool. Would be good if they draw for us. Actually, to be fair, I want Chelsea to win. Actually, I won't mind them winning that game. Just again, putting Liverpool in the mud. I think that's about it. Just wanted to show this as well. Sorry. This is
should I do mine as well?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Got this cleaned up today. Yeah. That was just a plug there. But no, that wasn't really about the game. So the game, I think, was a fantastic result. second half performance. I will accept that second half performance based on the fact of the last few performances getting better and better, and we got the result. Had we not got the result, we may have had a different conversation, but the result was all that was matter.
We say, isn't it?
Exactly. So we have to be thankful that we got the 3 points and kept a clean sheet, more importantly. And some of the players who certainly I've vilified in the past, they've done all right. They've done all right and kept us on this run that we've now got ourselves on. So well done, the Spurs, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Let's go and watch this other game now. Before we go, like, subscribe, share, comment. FTB Sports, we want to try and get to 500 subscribers as soon as possible. Once we do that, there will be a draw for a football shirt of your choice with name and number on the back. And hit the notification bell to get all the video notifications for not just us in the Spurs community, but Liverpool. Who else we got? Man United. And of course, well, I said that, of course, but we've also got Arsenal. But yeah, look out for Mr. Bashman. I'm sure Mr. Bashman is doing, what is it, the reaction show soon? Premier League reaction show?
No. Preview tomorrow.
Preview tomorrow. So watch out for that preview show. Again, good insightful. Is Deji going to be on there with you?
Yeah, he's
wow, see, they got a tag team there.
Where's Deji today, actually? I want to see him today.
He cracks me up. He cracks me up.
You know what it
Funny
is?
guy.
They said, "No, we don't want to be. We got our own shit going on now. We got our own team."
Come today. I don't know what happened. He was meant to come.
Oh, is it?
Reactions today.
Okay, no problems. I think there's one more comment.
Save it for Arsenal. Tell him save it for Arsenal.
Yeah.
What's this? Our last comment from Hamza. We need to play more on the front foot, and I think we have done. I think today was just a case of getting through the second half because, as I said, Fulham were decent. But I think we've answered all points today. And now it is definitely time to go and watch the Liverpool second half. So, gentlemen,
see you next week.
See you later.
Sunday.